Did you test this? Test, test, test. Testing, testing. It's good. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Charlottesville on this beautiful Palm Sunday. I love Palm Sunday. I don't know about you, because we do the Palm Walk, and it's just a peaceful time to make some transitions into a new life. My name is Rhonda Cooley, and I'm the celebration assistant today, along with our senior minister, Don Lansky.
Morning, everybody.
And we have Ty on piano, since Blair has taken the day off, and we have a very special guest. Joe Jinks will be doing our music today, very special. And so, as always, we start off with music, and so we're going to let Joe do that.
Let me just say something about Joe before he comes up. We had a fabulous concert last night, really brilliant. And one of the things I heard, I think it was the first time you heard it too, the Herb Levy, who we're partners with Focus Music, introduced Joe as his voice is so good that it's fattening. Joe Jenks.
Thank you. I will say, is mostly an evening musician, not a morning musician, that this is not my natural habitat. But I'll do my best. It is always a privilege to enter other people's house of worship and their space of community, and to be welcomed so graciously. Thank you. It's the song I wrote after nearly drowning in the Klamath River in Northern California. But as I said, that which does not kill us makes us stronger. For an artist, that which does not take us out turns into a song.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, welcome to Unity of Charlottesville. Unity welcomes people of all faiths, religions, cultures, gender orientation, sexual identity. Bob, can you turn the monitor down or something? Let's do everybody's welcome here at Unity. So it's our tradition to begin with prayer. So let's close our eyes on this Palm Sunday, and I invite us to just take a deep breath. And with good friends near us, we carry on. That's what spiritual community is all about. So we're so grateful to be here this morning, to be together. And to celebrate this Palm Sunday, the beginning of Holy Week. And what a week that was. And we have a sense all during this week of a spiritual journey, a long journey, and what that means to each one of us as we continue to grow in our awareness, to grow in our consciousness, to support each other in this work and in this play as well. So we say thank you, God, for these blessings, the blessings of community. Thank you, God, for all of our blessings. And on this Palm Sunday, we send forth our love to all of the areas in the world that are suffering now with conflicts, world conflicts. To Israel and Gaza and Ukraine and parts of Africa, Haiti. We stand in a place of love, and we send forth that love with our thoughts and our words and our actions. And we say thank you, God. Amen.
And let us conclude our prayer today with our statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent. So we have this chance now to stand and greet each other, say hi to people maybe who haven't been here for a while, and we walk around now, and if you want to request hugging, we can do that. So here we go. I'm in the right place
at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am where I'm supposed to be.
Sing it again. I'm in the right place at the right time.
I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
We're going to have kids' church today. Back in the back are the kids, and who's that? Robin will be doing the youth ed today. So kids, go on and have a great day.
So we have some opportunities for transformation.
Today is hospitality, so we continue our love here and go on downstairs and have some coffee and tea and maybe a snack, maybe something else, I don't know.
And of course, next Sunday is Easter Sunday, so we'll come a little bit early, and we hope to have a lot of folks here for Easter. And we'll have our Easter Unity Communion, we'll have our Easter potluck brunch, and we'll have an Easter egg hunt for the kids after church. And Robin will talk about that a little bit later. And Friday, we have our Good Friday meditation. That is on Zoom. It's a half hour starting at 12 o'clock. And you will find the Zoom link on our weekly newsletter. That's where we have that. So if you are not getting the weekly newsletter, call our church office and get on the newsletter so you can find out what that link is.
And we have our kirtan on Saturday, March 30th from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And also the men's group is meeting on April 1st at 6 p.m. in the Fillmore House is right here. And sorry, we also have spiritual cinema starting on Sunday, April 7th at 1 o'clock, so just bring your lunch for that. And Ginger's book study continues, second Saturday of each month, so on March 30th is an additional meeting, and then on April 13th on Saturday. And you can contact Ginger if you have any questions about that.
And that March 30th meeting, that's for people who want to join the group and just to kind of bring them up to speed, right? Okay, great. So if you're interested, call Ginger for that. And then I'll be doing the Unity Basics classes again if anyone wants to become a voting member of Unity. So, you know, to be at Unity, you're not required to be a member. But if you'd like to vote on things that are important to the church, like the leadership and, you know, if we ever had to borrow money or anything like that, those are things that only voting members can vote for. So the Unity Basics classes, there are two of them. One is the history of Unity. That's the history of Unity of Charlottesville and the history of the Unity movement in context. And then the second class is what Unity teaches. You know, it's kind of unusual. The Fillmores never said, you have to teach this, and you have to believe this, and you have to do this. But if you go to any Unity church anywhere in the world, you will kind of hear the same sort of message, even though nobody's telling us to do that. So it turns out that there's these common teachings that we teach, and that's what this class is about, what Unity teaches, the 5 Unity basic principles that you'll hear at any Unity church anywhere. So it's on Zoom on Wednesday, April 17th and the 24th, and you don't have to become a voting member. You can just come to these classes if you'd like to learn a little bit more about Unity. Bob, can you please do something with the sound? Either turn the monitor down or... We also have part of our Focus Music series, the same series that brought Joe here. We have James Keelahan coming back on April 20th. He was here last year. He's a Juno Award-winning Canadian singer-songwriter. The Junos, if you don't know, are the equivalent of Grammys in Canada. So he's a fabulous singer. So that concert will be April 20th. And then also on May 3rd, Daniel Nahmod, who you do know, he's been here many times, and we sing a lot of his music at church. So he's also not to be missed. He does a great concert on May 3rd.
So, hello, my name is Tony Bouchard, and we're kind of doing a little bit different of the community engagement team for this particular project. And it really was inspired in many ways by how fun it is when we've gone out in the community to do more than just donate. I mean, the donations we've done have really been impactful, but when we show up and help distribute coats to refugees, when we show up to do the toy lift, when we show up to help build houses for Habitat for Humanity, it just brings something both to our own hearts, but also to the groups that have actually signed up for that. And so as we were thinking about kind of that outreach, we also had a discussion at the HUG meeting last month about building community and being a welcoming community and being a place where people feel like they belong. And it just seemed like these two things kind of wrapped together to say, it's time to do a community engagement project with our own space and really encourage people in our community to come and volunteers. So we're sprucing up the grounds. Right now, it's mostly at save the date level of organizing. So we have some ideas for projects, but we need to see how many people are going to volunteer. So I think I lost my sound. No, I just need it closer. Okay. So May 4th, Saturday, May 4th, the plan is to be, start at like 10. There's a concert on May 3rd, so we didn't want to start too early. So we'll start at 10 to noon-ish, and then have a potluck afterwards. But right now, we have sign-up sheets, if you know you want to be part of it, that are out in the lobby. And it's a combined effort, so I'll let Shirley talk about the combination effort.
It's our social group, which is led by Jackie and I. Jackie isn't here today. The team, by the way, is all of you. It's the whole congregation. That's how I look at it. And so we thought it would be fun to put these two groups together, community engagement, social group, because it's all one big social extravaganza. And so that's pretty fun. So please put it on your calendar. We're at a save the date level, details to follow. And that's all I got to say. It'll be great.
Thank you, guys.
And as always, on every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7 on Zoom, we have our healing half hour.
We still have Carol Zimmer's work on display downstairs, and Reverend Patricia.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to let you know that the Spring Meditation Retreat on April 6th has 4 spaces left. And the Spring Meditation Retreat is called Sourcing Your Intentions from Unbounded Awareness, the unbounded awareness that we get as we meditate. So we'll be meditating through the day. There's a lot of other fun things happening. I see some of you have already signed up, and I'm very happy that we have a wonderful group. If you're interested, you can certainly talk to me about it. If you missed the spring one, there's more coming in August and then October. But the spring will not be repeated exactly like that again. So hope you'll think about it and come. And that's the end of that announcement. Now I have another announcement. This is Holy Week, isn't it, coming up? Well, it's also a very, very important date for Don. On Thursday, first of all, 50 years ago on Thursday, he became a TM teacher and has been teaching TM for 50 years. And he became a certified teacher through Maharishi Mahesh Yogi personally inaugurating him. And it also, somehow, by divine order, he arranged that in his own soul divinity to also be his birthday. So I don't know how he did it, but he makes miracles happen. So there is a wonderful cake downstairs for everybody to enjoy during fellowship. And in Don's true nature, we would like to invite up anybody else who is a March birthday person. Come right up now, because we want to sing to you as well. Anybody who's a March baby, come on up, hurry, hurry, hurry.
Watch the wires.
Yes, Terry, I know that there is another man out there who's being shy, but we'll bless you from where you are sitting. And these are our March birthday people. And shall we begin? I thought it would be good to sing happy birthday to all of you. Okay. Standing. Day to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
That was sneaky.
Surprise. So together, let's affirm our mission statement. Unity
Unity
of
of Charlottesville
Charlottesville
empowers
empowers
everyone
everyone
to express their unique divinity, making a positive difference in the world.
So true.
And it is my great pleasure to invite Joe Jenks to come back up on stage.
There is an idea in Buddhist teaching, bodhicitta, that the broken heart and the awakened heart are one and the same. That we cannot selectively open our hearts only to joy. When we open our hearts, we feel everything. And that is part of the process. I've noticed in particular some younger people in my life trying very hard to be everything for everybody. Particularly in the LGBTQ communities, I find a lot of young people in my life are struggling with their identity, struggling with how to be who they are in a world that has so much pressure around them. And as I pulled the camera lens back, I realized that it wasn't just those people in my life, that everybody I met in some way was struggling with trying to live up to someone else's expectations. And I just wonder sometimes, what would it be like if all of us knew in our heart of hearts that we are enough just as we are?
Lay down your weapons, love has you surrounded. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield, let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. You go through the world, everybody's sweetheart, keeping up a front that wears you down. But in a quiet moment, the truth comes out. Some days you feel like you're about to drown. So lay down your weapons, love has you surrounded. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield, let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. There is no reason to play this charade. You can be loved for who you are. For every troubled thought that crosses your mind, please know that you are someone else's shining star. Lay down your weapons, love has you surrounded. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield, let your heart break just a little. Let love remove
Let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt.
Thank you, Joe. Beautiful. Well, a little boy had the flu on Palm Sunday, and so he stayed home with his mother. The father went to church, and he came home with a palm branch, and the little boy said, "Well, why do you have that palm branch?" And the father said, "Well, when Jesus came into town, everybody waved palm branches to honor him." And the little boy said, "Ah, shucks, the one day I miss church and Jesus shows up." That's an old one. Well, so today is Palm Sunday, of course, and it's also the festival of Purim, the Jewish festival of Purim. And, you know, in this era where truth in journalism has been undermined and the judicial system has been weaponized and politicized and the justice system is under attack, these two holidays, what's common to both stories is the protagonists, Jesus and Queen Esther, who spoke truth to power. Amazing stories. And if you look at the overview of Jesus' ministry, it seems like he's always on the run. You know, he's moving back and forth all the time, always moving to Capernaum and Galilee and Samaria, all of this time. Wherever he goes, people gather, and he teaches and heals them. Many times after he's healing somebody, he says, "Don't tell anybody." You know, and you wonder, well, his time has not come yet, or is he afraid of the authorities? Who knows? But he's telling them he's trying to keep a low profile. And then Palm Sunday happens. And Palm Sunday happens with this entry into Jerusalem. It's as if Jerusalem is like the really big show, you know, like if you're playing baseball in fields and in Harrisonburg and Charlottesville and Stanton, and then suddenly you get to play at Oriole Stadium, you know, 45,000 people. It's the big show, Jerusalem. Can you have lights? Stage lights?
As they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage and Bethany at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two of his disciples, saying to them, "Go to the village ahead of you, and just as you enter it, you will find a colt tied there, which no one has ever ridden. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone asks you, 'Why are you doing this?' say, 'The Lord needs it and will send it back here shortly.'" They went and found a colt outside in the street, tied at a doorway. As they untied it, some people standing there asked, "What are you doing untying that colt?" They answered as Jesus had told them to, and the people let them go. When they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks over it, he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, while others spread branches they had cut in the fields. Those who went ahead and those who followed shouted, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest heaven." Jesus entered Jerusalem and went into the temple courts. He looked around at everything, but since it was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12.
So in the context of the gospel narrative, Jesus had just raised Lazarus from the dead, and so this news of this miracle was spreading, and people were coming in throngs to see who had done this, to see around him. We don't really know historically who the people were that were lining these paths. You know, obviously they were disciples and followers of Jesus. Maybe they were also curiosity seekers. Maybe they were critics. Maybe they were well-wishers. Maybe they were people who thought that Jesus was the one to come and overthrow the oppressors. Maybe he was just part of the throngs that were flooding into Jerusalem for the Passover. But one thing is clear, and that is that Jesus was challenging the status quo for their interpretations, or by his interpretations of Scripture and the law, the Jewish law. He was accusing the religious powers of being corrupt, of being hypocrites and phonies, and corrupting the spirit of God's law.
You Pharisees, you cleanse the outside of a cup and the dish, and then you eat and drink food that goes into a body that inside is full of greed and wickedness. You fools! Did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But give as alms those things that are within, and behold, everything is clean for you.
Are you saying giving alms is more important than being ritually
I'm
clean?
saying that your obsession with what is clean and unclean goes farther than God intended and does no good for anybody but yourself.
We tithe everything so the poor can benefit, down to the smallest plants grown in our gardens.
And to that I say, woe to you Pharisees! You tithe mint and dill and cumin, measuring carefully the last speck while neglecting what is actually important of the law. Justice and mercy and faithfulness. You blind guides, straining out an act while swallowing a camel. Look at these people. What have you done to help them?
We have taught them how to observe God's perfect law, while you actively defy and break and encourage others to deviate from it. All of you! This man is dangerous! He's leading you astray!
His words bring hope and healing!
His words are blasphemous, heretical!
And I say, woe to you Pharisees, for you love the best seat in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces.
Take it back. Right now, recant your insulting words.
Oh, I am just getting started.
Not a way to make friends. And you get the sense that Jesus knows precisely what he's doing, what lies ahead of him. And the authorities are in a rage, of course, and there will be betrayals. His followers will betray him. There will be physical pain. There will be moments of doubt, moments of renewed faith. Some biblical scholars say that at the same time that Jesus and the crowd were entering from the east gate of Jerusalem, the Roman legions were entering from the west gate, which is a very great metaphor for the opposing forces of temporal and physical and spiritual forces kind of coming into conflict. And some scholars say that Jesus' entourage may have followed behind the Roman army, actually, that the waving of palms was not a Jewish tradition, but a Roman tradition of waving palms for victorious armies. And so these scholars say that Jesus and his followers might have been riding behind the Roman legion as they were coming into Jerusalem to mock the Roman soldiers, really, with Jesus riding on a donkey. Whichever way it is, so much of the Easter story is as you all know, is about suffering, right? That this is a week of suffering and great pain. But there are also so many beautiful teachings during this Holy Week, you know, that the gospel contains as Jesus is downloading his last instructions to his disciples and to his followers, you know. The great commandment, love God and love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. The way to the Father is through the Christ in you. Listen to the Holy Spirit, the Comforter that's provided for you. And my favorite, my very favorite, all the things I have done, you can do and more. I think maybe my favorite passage in the whole New Testament. So many examples of faith and strength and courage that week, wisdom and power, power of love, power of overcoming, and many examples of speaking truth to power. And as you know, the first thing that Jesus did when he goes into Jerusalem is he goes to the temple, and which is the seat of religious authority, and he overthrows the tables of the money changers and the merchants. So clearly, Jesus is on a collision course with those in power. Every word he spoke, every action that he took brought him closer and closer to the inevitable. And in Unity, as you know, we look at these Bible characters and stories and we ask ourselves a question. We ask ourselves, where do we see ourselves in the story? What is relevant in the story right here, right now, to me for my spiritual journey? And Unity's co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, said that metaphysically, Jerusalem represents the habitation of peace, or the city of peace. And so Jesus wasn't just journeying to the city of peace or the habitation of peace. He was journeying to the very center of the habitation of peace, the Holy Temple. And there he spoke boldly, he spoke without reservation, knowing full well the risks involved, even the risk of torture and death, but doing it anyway. He stood his ground, he spoke his truth. And isn't it true that on our spiritual journey, we always have met some obstacles on our way, right? Or whether it's our own thoughts, our own self-betrayal, our own self-doubts, challenging people or situations, tests of faith. And so the Easter story, really the heart of the Easter story, is that we're invited to participate in this in the beginning of Holy Week, right? We're being asked to ask ourselves, where do I compromise on speaking my truth? Where do I hold back on the truth of who I am? Where am I not playing big? Where am I buying into limitations that have been imposed on me by my culture, by my family of origin, by my education, by my physical condition, by my religious upbringing, where I've been imposed on by these limitations? And where do I buy into that I am not totally magnificent, that it's not possible for me to achieve or experience union with the divine, with the God of my understanding, however I conceptualize that? Where do I buy into that? Where do I buy into that I'm not totally capable of not allowing my light to shine brilliantly? And if I'm to experience peace in my inner temple, in my inner heart, in my habitation of peace, what area of my life might need to be cleansed and confronted? What thoughts, what ways of being, what limiting behaviors, limiting beliefs, relationships? Because haven't you found that once you commit to the spiritual path, the Easter story reminds us that it can get rough. It can get rough for a while. Things can get shaken up. Things can get stirred. Things can get uncomfortable and painful before rebirth, before resurrection. And it might be that we put into action powerful forces of transformation that can't be stopped and that can change us and change our world forever. And that's certainly the lesson of Holy Week, I think. You know, that Jesus showed up at the outskirts of Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. He was ready to enter. He was ready to do what was his to do. He knew the consequences of his words and his actions, but he did it anyway. And I want to suggest to you this morning, to all of us, that on this sacred journey of life that we're all on, each one of us is no different. We are given the same invitation that Jesus had, to enter our Jerusalem, to do what is ours to do, to speak our truth, to take authentic action for ourselves and for the benefit of others. And each day, the very first step of that sacred journey is just being willing to show up. And so the example that Jesus sets for us isn't wishy-washy at all. He says if you want to have a full and meaningful life, you have to play full out. You have to let your light shine. You have to speak your truth. And not just speak your truth. You have to do your truth. You have to do action to do your truth as well. You have to claim and reveal your most magnificent self and be willing to shout it from the rooftops. You have to be willing to be magnificent for God, no matter what. No matter what. And this is what Jesus did on Palm Sunday as he rode into Jerusalem, and throughout Holy Week, he let the world see his magnificent self. And in doing that, he let us see part of our magnificent self as well. That's the story of Easter, but it's also kind of the story of Purim. Purim is the Jewish festival that began last night and is going on today as well. And this is what Queen Esther, who is the hero, the heroine of the book of Esther, she wanted to save her people from genocide and extinction. That's what the story of Purim is all about. And the story is found in the book of Esther in the Hebrew Bible. And in this story, to become queen of Persia, Esther was advised to hide her religion. She was Jewish because there were forces at work that were out there to exterminate the Jews. Now, this is in the 5th century BCE, not the first time and not the last time that the Jewish people have been faced with genocide and extermination and anti-Semitism. Haman is the evil prime minister to the king, and he wants to destroy the Jews because he believed that they're a subversive force. They worship and believe in an authority higher than the king of Persia and the king of Persia's laws, meaning of God, of course. And so he set a date for the genocide without telling the king. The king knew nothing about it. But wise Mordecai, who was loyal to the king and also a Jew and also the cousin of Queen Esther, alerted her to the plot. And so Esther, recognizing that she might be killed, revealed her religion, revealed herself to the king, and pleaded with the king to save her people. And the king was so in love with Esther that he honored her request, first by hanging Haman, which Esther didn't ask for, but he did that anyway, and then allowing Mordecai to issue a decree that the Jews were permitted to defend themselves against anyone who sought to destroy them, and then also guaranteeing them peace in the kingdom. And so the Jewish people were saved. Esther saved the day by speaking truth to power at the risk of losing her own life and in the midst of really powerful and destructive and hateful people. That's what Purim is all about. It's celebrated around the world by observant Jews. They have festivals and dinners, and they give to charity, and they have this dessert treat called Hamantaschen, which represents the three-cornered hat that Haman was supposed to have worn. So you get to eat Haman's hat. So Jesus and Esther, both of them, had the extreme courage to be on purpose, to express the truth of their being. And in this Holy Week, leading up to Easter, I want to invite us to consider the amazing example of Jesus and also of Queen Esther for your own story of transformation, by showing up, by speaking your truth, by taking authentic action for your own story of transformation. And remembering these powerful words from the Course in Miracles, that this is Palm Sunday, the celebration of victory and the acceptance of truth. Let us not spend this Holy Week brooding on the crucifixion of God's Son, but happily in the celebration of his release. So we have a special meditation this morning, our Palm Sunday Palm Walk. And you'll notice that you may not have seen it from the back, but in front of us here, there are a bunch of palms laid out on the floor, courtesy of Jackie, of Maria Stein and her team. Tony Bouchard was on the team, and Kathy Campbell was on the team. Anybody else that I missed? Yeah? So, and Ty, they came early to set this up for you. And what we'll have to do in a few moments is Joe will sing another song, and then we'll have a brief time of meditation. And then we'll do the Palm Walk to commemorate Jesus entering into Jerusalem. And of course, you can do the Palm Walk in whatever way serves you. As you walk across the palms, you might entertain the thought of something that you're committed to on your spiritual path. You start here. What's on the other side? What are you walking towards? What's at the other end? What vision for yourself, or what goal for yourself that's in alignment with the truth of your being? Or you might do the palm walk just to experience and reflect on walking in the footsteps of Jesus as he walked into Jerusalem. And what might that have been like? And how might your walk across the palms honor his walk across the palms? So I'm going to invite you to come down these two aisles, not this aisle, but just these two aisles, from the back rows first, and to walk across the palms, and then to return to your seat around this way, come back to your seat and do it in silence. And you can do this with your shoes on or with your shoes off, whatever's comfortable for you. And for those of you at home, I invite you just to use this time as a time of reflection and a time of meditation. So I'm going to invite Joe to come up, and let's prepare for our meditation.
The prayer of St. Francis is often attributed to Francis of Assisi, but it was in fact written by a Franciscan chaplain during World War I, who was in the trenches with the soldiers. Think about inhabiting our purpose, our truest calling, to hold in our hearts that someone witnessing and ministering to the people involved in such brutal warfare was unarmed and saying this prayer: Lord, make me an instrument of your peace in this place, in this time.
Instruments of your peace.
I want to invite us, if your eyes aren't already closed, to close your eyes as we continue this time of meditation. What if walking the spiritual path is about commitment and authenticity and continuing to do what we're committed to do no matter what? You might begin to walk across the palms with these questions in mind. What am I committed to in my own spiritual growth? How can I strengthen my commitment? What kind of support do I need? You might imagine a vision of what's on the other side of the palms. You know, on Palm Sunday, Jesus was walking towards something, the demonstration and fulfillment of all that he came to be and all that he came to teach. And so what do you envision for yourself that would fulfill your spiritual goals and ideals, that would allow you to follow your path with integrity and courage and authenticity and love? You can imagine or visualize this as you dream, as you walk across the palms, because you know you have all the faith and all the wisdom within you, all the courage to walk a spiritual walk that only you can walk. But there's also another way that you can walk across the palms. You can do it just in remembrance of Jesus. A symbolic way to foster a deeper connection. As you commemorate his journey at the beginning of Holy Week. So whatever feels comfortable to you is the way to do this ritual. And so let's just take a few moments of silence first. In a moment, I'll ask you to come down the center aisles from the back rows first. And you can do this with your shoes on or your shoes off. And after you walk across the palms, just return to your seats in silence. And Please maintain a little bit of social distance. Be mindful of the cameras you're coming down. And be aware of the person in front of you. Just allow them their space to walk across. And so let's begin with back rows first. So the beginning of this Holy Week, let us make a commitment to showing up, speaking the truth, taking authentic action, not only for ourselves, but for the benefit of others as well. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Lord, I am an instrument of your peace. Amen. And when it feels comfortable, please just begin to open your eyes slowly and bring your awareness back to this room this time.
Well, it's that time in our service where we have the opportunity to give back all that we receive. We make it easy here at Unity. You can text to give. You can give right here today into the butterfly net, and or just mail it into the office, however you want to give. We're here to receive. Is there anybody here for the first time? We like to know if there's anybody here for the first time. You were here last night. Well, of course. Thanks, Joe. Hope you come back and join us downstairs for fellowship so we can get to know you a little bit better. So we like to take those gifts that we are going to give today and hold them in our hearts or our hands and bless them with our blessing. Together, divine love as me
blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
And we get to hear Joe again.
It is so often that a musician plays and people feel compelled to applaud. And out of respect for the contemplative spaces that we enter in our spiritual practice, sometimes it doesn't occur to us that it is occasionally appropriate to applaud for a minister or a spiritual leader. But Don, I want to say thank you for stitching that quilt together, that beautiful quilt, interfaith quilt of understanding the context and the depth of richness of tradition that we find ourselves in on this day, this convergence point. Thank you.
There's a flame in the darkness, burning deep within our hearts, in the love that grows between us. This is where the journey starts. There is hope in the stillness. There is solace in our friends and in the love that grows between us. This is where the isolation ends. Come full circle in a moment. Hold no shame in what you feel. This old world will keep on turning, and our broken hearts will heal. When the rain falls around you like your solitary tear, in the love that flows between us, know that thunder holds no fear. In the struggle you hold sacred, when the arrows pierce silence. There is promise in each day and in the love that holds between us. May we always find our way. Come full circle in a moment. Hold no shame in what you feel. This old world will keep on turning, and our broken hearts will heal. There's a flame in the darkness, burning deep within our hearts, in the love that grows between us. This is where the journey starts. There is hope in the stillness. There is solace in our friends and in the love that holds between us. The sacred journey never ends. Yes, in the love that holds between us, sacred journey.
Thank you so much. And Joe has CDs and products out in the lobby there, so if you'd like to take some of his music home with you, please feel free to do that. And he'll be there right after the service. I guess. Do you guys want to come up or no? They're in the toy room.
We can bless them from
we can
here.
wait 2 minutes? Let's bless them. Let's bless them from here. Yeah. Yeah. And if you weren't here last week, I'm really happy to announce, if you turn back and see Robin back there, Robin is our new director of Youth and Family Ministry.
Oh, yay!
So,
Yay, Robin. Good job.
so let's bless our children together. Children, Uniteens, TYUers, teachers and parents, you are loved, special, and important. That's it. So,
And a reminder that we do have pastoral care available at all times. If you have any special needs, just call the office or email, and that includes like visits to the hospital and things like that.
and next week is, of course, Easter Sunday, Easter Communion, Unity Communion, Easter potluck, and Easter egg hunt. So look forward to seeing you there. And Good Friday meditation on Zoom. If you don't have the Zoom link, call the church office or get on our weekly e-newsletter list. That's where the link is for that, for Zoom. So I want to just thank everybody. Thank you, Joe Jenks. Wonderful to have you here. Please come again.
Come back, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you. And Blair is partying in New Orleans, but she will be back next week. And Ty did a fabulous job. Thank you so much, Ty. Really nice job. And Blue, thank you so much. And we have Stephen and Bob up in the sound booth, and Buddy, Maria and Tony on the blessing team today. And our healing helpers are back here in the corner. So if anyone has a group prayer that you'd like to do, Buddy Leffers will be, I think, down here in front for individual prayers. And we have fellowship right in our downstairs right after the service as well. So let's folds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. It's all right. It's okay. peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Go forth with the spirit of Jesus and the spirit of Queen Esther to show up and pay attention and speak your truth.